Can a perfect crime truly exist? A crime so meticulously planned, so flawlessly executed that it leaves no trace, no whisper of the dark deed? It's a question that has haunted investigators, captivated storytellers, and perhaps even crossed the minds of those dwelling on the darker side of human nature. We're drawn to these stories, to the chilling details of crimes that seem impossible to unravel. In this series, we'll delve into the world of forensic investigations, focusing on cases where perpetrators believed they had cleaned up their acts, erased the evidence, and vanished into thin air. But as we'll see, even the most meticulous attempts to hide the truth can unravel under the harsh glare of forensic science. The case of Travis Alexander, a young and charismatic motivational speaker, shocked the nation with its brutal end in the quiet suburbs of Mesa, Arizona. Jodi Arias, his ex-girlfriend, stood accused of his murder, a charge she vehemently denied. The crime scene, however, painted a gruesome picture. Alexander's body was discovered in his shower, bearing multiple stab wounds and a gunshot wound to the head. The sheer brutality of the attack pointed to a crime of passion, but Arias maintained her innocence, claiming she hadn't seen Alexander in weeks. As investigators combed through the scene, they began to notice discrepancies in Arias's story. Despite the bloodbath in the shower, there was a noticeable lack of blood elsewhere in the bathroom. It appeared as though someone had meticulously cleaned the area, attempting to erase any trace of their presence. The shower floor, however, told a different story. Luminol, a chemical used to detect trace amounts of blood invisible to the naked eye, revealed a chilling pattern. A bloody footprint, too small to be Alexander's, was discovered near the shower, suggesting the presence of someone else at the scene. The plot thickened as investigators delved into the days leading up to Alexander's murder. They uncovered a series of suspicious activities by Arias, including renting a car, disabling its mileage tracker, and purchasing a gas can and a large knife. A search of Alexander's washing machine revealed recently washed bedding, despite Arias's claim that she hadn't been to his house. Forensic analysis of the bedding revealed traces of both Alexander's blood and Arias's DNA, directly contradicting her alibi. As the evidence mounted, Arias's story crumbled under the weight of forensic scrutiny. The meticulously cleaned bathroom, the bloody footprint, the tampered car, and the incriminating DNA evidence all pointed to her involvement in Alexander's murder. Despite her initial denials, the truth had a way of bubbling to the surface, like a dark secret refusing to stay buried. The picturesque town of Perugia, Italy, known for its rolling hills and medieval architecture, became the backdrop for a tragic tale that gripped the world's attention: the murder of Meredith Kercher. Kercher, a British student studying abroad, was found dead in her apartment, her life brutally cut short. The scene was chaotic, the air thick with the weight of violence. Kercher's body bore multiple stab wounds, and signs of a struggle were evident throughout the apartment. As investigators began piecing together the events leading up to Kercher's murder, they focused on her roommates and their acquaintances. Among them was Amanda Knox, an American student who shared the apartment with Kercher. Knox and her boyfriend, Raffaele Solicito, became central figures in the investigation, their movements and actions scrutinized under the harsh glare of international attention. The apartment, however, held its own secrets. While there were signs of a struggle, there was also evidence of an attempt to clean up the scene. The bathroom, in particular, appeared to have been wiped down, as if someone was trying to erase their presence from the scene of the crime. But forensic science, with its unwavering pursuit of truth, began to unravel the carefully constructed facade. DNA evidence emerged as a crucial element in the case. A knife discovered at Solicito's apartment tested positive for traces of Kercher's DNA on the blade and Knox's DNA on the handle. The clasp from Kercher's bra, which had been forcibly cut during the attack, yielded a mixture of DNA, including that of Rudy Guide, a local man who was later convicted of Kercher's murder. The presence of mixed DNA at the crime scene suggested the involvement of multiple individuals, further complicating an already convoluted case. The case of Hella Crafts, a Danish flight attendant who vanished from her Connecticut home in 1986, became a chilling example of how far some will go to conceal their crimes. Her husband, Richard Crafts, a commercial airline pilot, maintained his innocence, claiming Heller had simply left without a trace. But as investigators dug deeper into the couple's troubled marriage, a sinister tale began to emerge. Heller had confided in friends about her husband's infidelity and her fears for her safety. She had even hired a private investigator to gather evidence of his extramarital affairs. When Heller disappeared, suspicion immediately fell upon Richard, but he remained steadfast in his denials, painting himself as a concerned husband, desperate to find his missing wife. The investigation took a gruesome turn when a witness came forward, claiming to have seen Richard operating a wood chipper near the couple's home around the time of Heller's disappearance. Armed with this information, investigators began searching the area, their suspicions growing with each passing day. Their grim discovery sent shockwaves through the quiet community. Scattered amongst the wood chips and debris were fragments of bone, hair, and human tissue. It was a scene straight out of a horror movie, a macabre puzzle that needed to be pieced together. Forensic scientists worked tirelessly, painstakingly analyzing the recovered fragments. They determined that the remains were indeed those of Heller Crafts, and the manner of her death was determined to be homicide. The wood chipper, a tool intended for landscaping, had become the instrument of a gruesome crime, its blades transforming a human body into almost undetectable fragments. In the annals of criminal justice, there exists an unseen witness, a silent observer that never forgets, never tires, and always seeks the truth, forensic science. From the dusting of fingerprints to the analysis of DNA, forensic science has revolutionized the way we investigate and prosecute crimes. It has become an indispensable tool for law enforcement, providing objective evidence that can either corroborate or refute alibis, link suspects to crime scenes, and ultimately serve as the voice of the voiceless. The cases we've explored, marked by chilling acts of violence and desperate attempts to conceal the truth, underscore the crucial role forensic science plays in the pursuit of justice. No matter how meticulously a crime scene is staged, no matter how carefully the evidence is hidden, the truth, like a fingerprint, remains etched in the fabric of the crime. No matter how clean the scene, the truth always emerges. It may be whispered in the faintest trace of DNA, or shouted from the depths of a meticulously concealed grave. But emerge it will, for the laws of science, like the pursuit of justice, are relentless and unwavering.